Hi, I'm Steve Sapato, and you're listening to Speaker Talks Podcast. And on behalf of all the speakers in the world, I want you to know that you can come to Speaker Talks Podcast and start getting more information about how to be an exceptional speaker. I'm bringing out a whole new concept for my speaker program, and it's called No Bullshit Speaking. I'm just introducing a new book called No Bullshit Selling, so it's going to be a recurring theme. No bullshit. And it's about time we really started to do that with the new incentives in terms of our culture, in terms of not putting up with all the liars, cheaters, and stealers who are in political places that they shouldn't be because all they want to do is be selfish. We need to get back to real truth and real organization. And so I want you to understand that this no bullshit speaking is going to be all about how do you become a good speaker, a great speaker, an exceptional speaker, and one who's in demand, where you can speak for money, whether you can speak to sell from the stage. How do you get speaking jobs? How do you get better at your speaking? And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Is how do you improve what you do right now? So many speakers don't think they can get better. For a number of years, I ran a group called Speaker Talks, and we met in Tampa every 6 months, and we had an event there, 2-day event, and we didn't get the best audience, and I couldn't figure out why we didn't get a great audience, and that was because when I would invite the speakers to come, it was speaker training for the first half of the first day, and then speaker stage training for the second half, and then they get on stage and speak. And that way they got a professionally recorded speaker reel. But the other speakers, people who are already speakers, didn't come sit in the audience. They didn't come to participate. And I was always like, why? And somebody told me, well, people who already speak don't think they need your information. Isn't that sad? As a matter of fact, I'm going in about a month to another person's organization because they're going to, quote, teach me how to be a better speaker. Well, it's a one-day event. I got to learn something. Decades ago, I went to a guy in Las Vegas. I don't remember his name, but he was an asshole. Oh, I mean, he was not a good guy. And he ran this speakers group. And I took my son at the time, and my son had just turned 21. My son's 36 now, so it must have been 15 years ago. And this guy was teaching speakers in Las Vegas, and he lived in Las Vegas, so it was a really cool thing to go to an event in Las Vegas. But I was teaching college at the time, speech communication. And at the end of the first day, my son went with me, and he said, Dad, I'm bored to death. I'm not going to come tomorrow. I went, okay, how come? And he went, you teach all of this stuff and you do a better job. That was impressive. Coming from my son, to me, I was like, oh, that's really cool. But the guy didn't really teach you how to be a great speaker. He gave all kinds of crap, and he talked about his stories of how he got rich and how he sat next to John Wooden and how he did. Sorry, that's not how you get to be a great speaker, and that's not what you do. But guess what? He wouldn't have sat in on any of my speaker talks events either, because he thought he was the best there is. He was the cat's meow. He was all that there is, and he was rich. He was a very wealthy guy, and he got there by charging $1,200, $1,500 for everybody to attend his speaking workshop, which lasted, I think, 3 or 4 days. I don't remember now. It's been long enough. But what I want you to understand is you need to attend everything that a speaker is out there doing. And I love the people who get out on Facebook or Instagram or even sometimes YouTube, but very seldom YouTube in this particular case. But they get out there and they leave you messages, memes. They put you out, hey, you ought to join my group. You ought to join my workshop. And then they don't show themselves speaking. How can you offer a workshop and not show yourself speaking? That's what we're trying to teach. We're trying to convey how you get at least this good. We want you to be better than us. Do you know that? We want you to be better than us at giving presentations, at being speakers, at reaching an audience and getting a message across. I don't care if you're in a small office and you just do sales meetings at your office, or if you do manager meetings at your office, or if you're out there killing it. Right? I want you to be able to say, I learned how to reach my audience. I use a particular program called storytizing. Everybody says you got to be a great storyteller. Yeah, no, you do. You do. I take it back. I was going to say you don't. You have to be a great storyteller. But how do you get to be a great storyteller? And the answer to that is you have to learn how to tell a story. And I don't mean, hi, I'm Steve Sapato, and my story is, It's all about when I was growing up, I was born at a very early age and I went on to become no, no, nobody cares about your story. Now they say tell it so that other people can see that you struggled and they struggled. And if they can emulate you, they'll get through that struggle. Yes. And so they should buy your program because you can show them how to get through that struggle. Yes, true. Okay. But because they think it's just storytelling. I'll just tell my story. That's not it. That's not it at all. And the problem with that, of course, is that what they really mean is you have to tell your story in such a way that your audience goes, oh, wow, I can relate to that. Wow, that's what I'm kind of going through. I've been going through that for years. Or, man, I hope that never happens to me. Those are the kind of things you want them to feel. But how do you get there? By telling your story? Because let's face it, you and I have sat through a lot of storytelling bullshit where they tell their story. And I mean, 15 minutes into it, you're just barely able to stay awake. Am I right? Do not fall for that kind of stuff. What we want you to do by joining. So sign up for this podcast. Go ahead, subscribe. And we're going to be putting together some great presentations, great speakers, great information about how you can be a great speaker, how to get jobs, how to get better opportunities, where to find people who will buy your programs, those kinds of things, and how you can become a great storyteller. Storytizing meaning if you're a speaker, you normally write your speech and you get up there and you give your speech. I say, no, back that up. You write your speech, right? You practice your speech, then you put it in your speaker blender. You blend it all up, and when you pull it out, you retell it, you rewrite it. So you're now telling your story using their memories, their emotions, and their experiences. That's what it's all about. If you can learn how to relate your story to your audience, to every audience you get to, that's what's vital for your success. So go ahead, subscribe to Speaker Talks podcast, and we will not disappoint you this year. It's going to be a fabulous journey. I'm going to have some great speakers on. And let's face it, that's what you want to learn about, isn't it? How to be a great presenter. I'm Steve Sapato. You can reach me at stevesapato.com. You can reach me at stevesapatoseminars.com. You want to take a speaking course, I call it speaker in a, excuse me. You want to be a speaker in a box speaking course? You don't ever have to talk to me again. You can buy the course and learn online in your own time how to be a good speaker. Notice I didn't say great. I think you have to have a coach who helps you every step of the way, corrects you, shows you what you were doing right or wrong, talks to you about your gestures, about your head movement, about your eye contact, about your voice inflection, about your body language, about your stage presence, all that stuff. So reach out to me, Steve at stevesapato.com, buy my courses at stevesapatoseminars.com, or give me a holler, right, at 563-370-4938. Text me. Let me know what you need. I will be happy to get back with you. Any questions for me? I just gave you my information. I hope you have a blessed 2025. Let's make it work. Come on. Okay, that's enough. You're still here? I'm looking for the exit button. Why are you still here? You're looking at me, looking for the exit button? There might be something wrong with that. Have you been practicing your facial expressions in the mirror? I practice those every day, and I've been doing this for 40 years. So, go ahead, say goodbye. Hang up. Close the window.